Hey guys, Legendary Narwhal back again. Today bringing you Resto Shamans. First off, just want to apologize that I haven't done one of these videos in a little while. I do know that WoW is kind of the major content thing on the channel, but been pretty tied down with finals and stuff these last week. Just finished them yesterday, so now I've got all summer with no school, nothing to do. Tried to start a Let's Play series of Legend of Grimrock. Am still going to continue that. Love the game, but this is probably going to be the more main focus of the channel is going to be WoW. I did get to play in the Guild Wars 2 beta weekend. It was alright. I was very excited about it initially, but seeing just how absurdly hard a lot of the instance areas were, I honestly don't know if I will play it if they keep the current difficulty curve. I mean, I'm all for something being hard, but for example, your story mode in Guild Wars 2, that's kind of supposed to be your story. That's supposed to be your main questing, and that's it. It's for you. So it's supposed to be, you know, really immersive, really good. Well, I jumped into my friend's, and it was like his second one or something. So, you know, we're very early level. We're like level 4 or something, and we open this door, so it's me, him, and 2 NPCs. We open the door, and there's over a dozen level 6 NPCs inside. Over a dozen. And it's all one pull. It's not like you take a couple at a time. You take all of them at once. So we got completely and totally raped. That was only the first wave as well. We did eventually kill them all. They didn't respawn when we died, so we just corpse hopped it the entire time. And then the next wave came out, and it was like 20. So, yeah, Guild Wars 2, a lot of the instant stuff that they have, in my opinion, is far, far too difficult. A lot of the public questing stuff just ended up being zergs of 100 people, since it was beta weekend. So, of course, all of that is subject to change. On the other note, really quick before we jump into this, Diablo coming out, couple days. I believe I am recording this on the 8th, so a couple more days, 7 more days, I think. 15th is coming out. So I definitely do look forward to posting some Diablo 3 footage on the channel as well. However, this is about the resto shammy, so let's go. Alright, 4 core abilities. We got Earth Shield, got Riptide, Spirit Link Totem, and Greater Healing Wave. Alright, so all these we have on live. None of these are really new. Couple changes here. You'll see in the text of this Earth Shield, it says it lasts 45 seconds. Okay? I have glyphed this. I'm going to show you the glyph in a minute, but I have glyphed this, so just keep that in mind. Greater Healing Wave, so as with most kind of healing classes nowadays, you've got 3 heals, basically. You've got 3 single target heals. One of them costs very, very low mana, has the same cast time as this one, and heals for an okay amount. Another one costs a little bit less mana than this. It's about 6.3k, I believe. Costs quite a bit. Costs about half as quickly, so double the cast speed, but it doesn't heal for quite as much. So you've got the low mana, long cast heal that you'll just kind of do normally as a filler. You've got the fast mana intensive heal as, oh god, I need to heal right now. And then you've got this heal, which still costs a bit of mana, and it has a low cast time, a long cast time rather, and this is your big heal. So if you know they're going to take some damage and you're not surprised by it, then you can use this. Riptide. And this is my favorite thing personally on a resto shammy. Riptide is usually one of my top healing done moves when I heal raids. As long as you keep this move on cooldown and just use it all the time, it's absolutely amazing. So it's a very big heal over time. It lasts for quite a while, and it buffs your chain heal if it comes into contact. So a good thing for your AoE healing is to drop down Healing Rain, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and then apply Riptide to your main target, and then chain heal that target. Your chain heal will get buffed if you do that, and then it'll heal more to more people. So that's a good tactic for that. Spirit Link Totem, we have this already. It's very cool. We didn't have this before Cataclysm, and it's a very nice cooldown. Basically what it does is everything around it for the next like 10 seconds or whatever, sorry, 6 seconds, 10-yard radius. So it first of all reduces the damage everyone takes. That's awesome. Now, every single second that everyone is standing within that Spirit Link Totem's radius, all of their health percentages get redistributed to be identical. So that's really, really good. That's really good, because if you've got a lot of people that are getting hit really hard, if you use this, all of a sudden everyone's going to be equal. Yeah, a couple people might be lower than they were previously, but that health is going to go on to other people. So you can kind of think of Spirit Link Totem kind of like a transfusion of health from your whole raid into your most injured party members. So really, really good. Alright, we went over a lot of talents in the Elemental video, so I'm just going to kind of go over the picks I would make for resto. First row here, I personally would take Astral Shift. I don't want to waste a totem slot to get a damage reduction on myself, and I shouldn't be getting hit if I'm a healer anyway, so I wouldn't take that. Next row here, that's a CC for one target. That's immunity to movement impairing effects, which doesn't normally happen on boss encounters anyway. And then Earth Grab Totem it'll help with the CC. So I took Earth Grab in the situation of my raid needs a little bit more CC. I can actually help other than Hex. Call the Elements. In my opinion, that's a pretty clear-cut choice for this row. Totemic Restoration. My totems probably aren't going to get destroyed. This isn't PvP or anything. They're going to last until they cancel themselves, unless I personally do them again. Totemic Projection, that doesn't matter too much. This may be helpful on fights with a lot of movement. You would be able to relocate certain healing totems, or even cooldown totems, maybe like Spirit Link, like you know, maybe you have to split into two groups for a particular boss, and the other group is taking loads of damage. Well, you can throw down your Spirit Link totem. It's at your feet, sure, but then you can cast Totemic Projection and toss it 40 yards away, giving that other group Spirit Link. So, in that particular sense, that would be a very helpful pick for those situations where you need to be in more than one group. However, I pick Call of the Elements, which you don't have a totem that has a cooldown of longer than 5 minutes. Even your elementals are 5 and 5. So this basically refreshes the cooldown on all of your totems. That's why I picked it, really. Alright, this row is really tricky. This is a tricky one. So, Elemental Mastery, you get a bunch of haste. Haste is great. Haste has always been really great for shamans. 1 or 2 expansions back, I think it was Lich King, you just stacked haste on a shaman. That's really all that you did. You stacked haste. There were people who had like a 1-second cast on Chain Heal. They had just stacked so much haste. They were really, really efficient at AoE healing in that way. Ancestral Swiftness, it is a very short cooldown. However, in my opinion, the passive is really the only useful thing that comes out of this. I'm not a big fan of this whole, oh, hit this and then your next cast is instant kind of thing. I'm not a big fan of that on a healer. I'm okay with it on DPS, because it's like, alright, you know, speed up your rotation or something like that. A little bit of burst damage, but with this, I just feel that if you need to use this, then you're not doing your job as a healer anyway. If you're in the situation where you haven't been healing your tank, and all of a sudden he gets hit really hard, and now you need a heal, like right this second, and you can't cast one, if you're in that situation, then you should have avoided being put in that situation in the first place. You should have been healing. I mean, it's an oh shit button, sure, but if you're keeping up with things and your tank is decently geared, you should never need that. So it's okay, it's situational, the passive is nice, but I think Echo of Elements just takes it right here. One of your spells causes direct damage, elemental, or healing, resto. You have a chance to gain Echo of the Elements, duplicating that spell's effect. So Bad news is, yeah, it's RNG. It's not going to happen all the time. But the good news is, over the course of the entire fight, like say over a 5-minute fight, this is going to go off a lot. It's definitely going to go off more than once. And if it goes off once on, say, a healing wave crit that's going to be, you know, around 60k or more, then that's a free 60k heal you got out of this. That's a free 60,000 healing done that you would not have had if you didn't take this. And that's only a single cast. You know, yes, it doesn't factor in all the time, so you might not get it on healing waves. You might not get it on your healing wave crits. But if you do, then that's a situation for you. So I think that this is the best choice, mostly just because of that duplication. Next row, Healing Tide, it's good, but if it lasts for 10 seconds and it heals roughly every 2, so let's say that it goes off 5 times, healing 5 most injured party members for 9.5, so okay, so we'll say that's 9.5, goes off 5 times, so we'll say what, that is, I don't know, about 55k total, roughly, something like that. So this 3-minute cooldown kind of translates into like a 55k heal. That's alright. It's alright. This definitely not. This is just for enhancement and elemental DPS specs that have to take a healing thing out of this row. That's what that's for. That resto shouldn't even look at it. This one though, conductivity. When you healing wave, greater heal, healing surge, or lightning bolt, blah blah blah. Lightning bolt's not effective for us, but all the others. If you do it to anything within healing rain, then allies standing in it gain healing equal to 20% of the initial damage or healing done. So if you heal someone in healing rain, everybody around there is gonna share 20% of that. So in a way, that's kind of like the green buff on Ultraxian. If you've never done Ultraxian before, he's a boss in Dragon Soul. There's 3 gems over the fight that buff healers. 1 gem is green, and what it does is it allows all of your heals to be duplicated and distributed among your whole raid. This is kind of a mini version of that, and that's really, really good. This row, I can't take yet. However, this is just a no. It has nothing to do with healing. Definitely not. This, maybe. It depends on how much it increases those stats by. I'd say maybe, but probably not. I would probably just take this. This would buff the Earth Living Unleash to 50% as opposed to the 30% that it is currently right now. So there you go. Really briefly, glyphs that I've just kind of thrown in. Riptide no longer has a cooldown, but it no longer instantly heals. For me, that's fine. I never used it for the initial heal anyway. I always used it for just casting it on a bunch of different people in the raid to get those AoE heals rolling, to get that target-rich environment for good, strong chain heals. If you throw this up on 3 or 4 people, and then you can just cycle through them, chain healing, and you'll be doing a lot of AoE healing if you do that. This Earth Shield glyph, I'm not actually sure why it's a minor. It pretty fundamentally changes the way the spell works. Instead of your charges being depleted and it lasting for a long time, it now only lasts 45 seconds. However, your charges can't be depleted, so it's basically just they have Earth Shield. That's it. They have it for 45 seconds. They get hit, they get healed. So I took it because I think that that's really good. There's very, very few occasions right now that I've found where I don't have any mana at all. I usually have enough to recast this, so that's not, the 45-second duration is not a problem for me. I picked Glyph of Cleansing Waters because a lot of times when you're cleansing something from someone in your raid, it's probably going to be a dot. It's not just a debuff, it's probably a debuff that is doing damage. Probably. That's usually how things go. So you're going to need to heal them immediately afterward anyway. So this extra little kick here will kind of help them out, especially if they're really low to being killed. Glyph of Water Shield increases your passive regeneration, but it no longer activates when you receive damage. I would say this is situational. I have it on now because for most of the time this is probably a very good choice. However, if there are certain fights, say Spine of Deathwing for example, where I would not want this glyph at all. I would not want this glyph because there are so many bloods that end up being on Deathwing's back. There's so many ads that usually your healing aggro is going to pull them and they're going to smack you once or twice before tanks manage to pick them up. Usually. Sometimes, if all of your healers are standing directly on top of your tank, yeah, okay, maybe they won't hit you at all. But if you're in a situation where you know for sure you're going to at least take a little bit of damage, then you don't want this. Because Water Shield popping is going to help you more than just its passive. Okay? That's my opinion. Alright. So we're all through with that. Let's jump into the abilities. I have not put everything down on this hotbar, mostly because when I put Chain Heal down here, I got a 132 error by placing it here and it crashed my game. That's another reason there hasn't been a whole lot of beta content from me lately, because every time I've tried to do something, I've crashed. I'm trying to level to get to 87 on this guy and on my Warlock, because I want to showcase the 87 abilities, the new dungeons, things like that, but it's hard when every other move you do disconnects you. Alright, anyway, so let's start in here. Only really going to touch on the things that are resto based, not really going to worry about anything else. So Purge, this is enemy target only, okay, enemy target only. You have Purify Spirit for friendlies, you have Purge for enemies. I would always encourage you to keep Purge on your bar if you are going into a boss encounter where you know he has something you need to dispel. Blackwing Descent Maloriak is a good example. You can use this to purge Remedy off of him. Usually there will always be someone else that can do this role and that can do it better and with more consistency than you, especially as a healer. But you have it, okay, just in case. Purify Spirit, Curse and Magic from a friendly target. If you're a healer and you don't have the ability to debuff, that's not good. Okay, enough said. Riptide, really kind of your bread and butter move for this entire spec. Very cheap cost, very good heal over time. Definitely buffs your chain heal a lot, 25%. And with the glyph, it doesn't have a 6-second cooldown. With the glyph, I can do this as much as I want. So that's awesome. Spirit Walker's Grace, if you need to run and you need to heal at the same time, say the Frost Phase on Hagara in Dragon Soul as you're running in a circle around the room, if you really need to heal somebody, you can pop this. It's only a 2-minute cooldown. You can heal on the move. That's pretty nice. Recall, sure, you get mana back for your totems, they're still there, that's great. Unleash elements, so the unleash, the imbue, weapon imbue that you're going to use is going to be Earth Living right here. So, you get more spell healing, great. You also have a chance to trigger Earth Living effects, which give them a hot on them. If you heal them when they're really low, they will always get this, so it won't be RNG, it will be a guarantee if they're very low on HP. And then when you unleash it, it heals them a little bit, and then increases the effect of the next direct heal that you do. It heals them for a little bit, mostly because if someone's getting hurt really bad and you need this bonus to the direct heal, wasting a global cooldown to click this may result in their death. So they added a little heal into this just to kind of tide them over for that very short global cooldown when you're waiting for your heal to actually be able to come up. That's my personal opinion anyway. And then the unleash of it, just what it states there. However, with the talent, it will go up to 50 as opposed to 30, so that'll be cool. Water Shield, talked about that briefly. This is the one you're going to want to have up. There's also Lightning Shield. That's Elemental and Enhancement. Water Shield is for Resto. I have the glyph for more passive regen, so I'm going to want to look at it, and I'm going to want to keep it up all the time. So, just need to make sure of that. So now, let's see. I guess the one thing that does look like it has changed is the shield is now completely permanent. It no longer has charges like Lightning Shield used to have. it appears that it is now the thing that used to happen when you got hit and a charge got expended to get the extra mana. It appears that that has simply been built into the spell and given a short internal cooldown. So the glyph just stops that little internal bit from working, I guess. Alright, water totems, healing stream, and mana tide. You may have healing tide, or whatever that other one was. Healing tide. You would have that if you picked that in this row. Okay, I did not, so I don't have that. Healing stream. This is a nerf, basically. This is a nerf to healing stream. It now has a 30-second cooldown, and it only lasts for 15 seconds. So, over the entirety of the fight, you'll have about a 50% uptime on your healing stream totem, as opposed to 100%, which it was now. It's a nerf, but at the same time, I do approve of it. I know that Blizzard is trying to get away from the whole, you click this button and it does something for you for like the next 6 minutes without you doing anything, which is essentially what this totem used to be. It was a fire and forget. You put it down and just let it do its thing, and you didn't care about it. So I approve that they're kind of leaning away from that a little bit. I do like that. Mana Tide, always been a very, very iconic resto shammy thing. You want a resto shaman in your raid because of this. You can give all the rest of your healers a lot of mana. So this is very, very nice. 200% of the caster's spirit, so everybody is going to get a very large mana regeneration buff, which is the point. Alright, moving in. Ancestral Awakening. I believe this was nerfed slightly. I'm not 100% sure. I think on live this is 40% of the amount healed. Right now it says 30. I could be wrong. It may be 30 on live as well. But from my memory, I think that this is a 10% nerf. But anyway, when you critically heal with a single target direct heal, then basically you will instantly heal the lowest health person for a little bit. So every time you crit, it basically triggers a small AoE on one person. So that's very cool. Burning Wrath. It appears that we all get this, and it is not just an elemental thing. I am not 100% certain of that, so I don't want to read too far into that. Because Lava Burst, as you see here, Lava Burst is apparently restoration. So, beta is beta. This tag may be wrong. I don't know if everyone's going to have this or not. We might, but we might not. Conductivity, talked about that. That's a talent. Same thing with Echo of Elements. Grace of Air. So, this is going to be our buff now. We're going to buff everybody around us with Mastery. That's going to be our thing. We buff everyone around us with Mastery just by standing here. So, whether or not we get Mastery and Spell Power remains to be seen. I don't know if we'll continue to have this. Like I said, I have a feeling this is going to be Elemental only, but I don't know. So, Mastery, same as it has been. It hasn't changed. It increases the potency of your healing spells based on how low your target's HP is. So, it's okay. I personally have never really been a huge fan of this, just like I was never a fan of the Arcane Mage Mastery and everything. My feeling about this is, oh, you heal for more if they're lower, so if you fuck up and you let your tank take a bunch of damage and you're panicking, don't worry, it's okay. You're just going to heal them for more because you failed and let them get really low. That's the first thing that I think of when I look at this, honestly. I'm aware, you know, there's other applications for it. You can argue that this is really good, and again, that's your opinion. In my opinion, this Mastery is very bad. I would like to see something different. However, that's probably not going to happen. It has been this way all throughout Kata. It's not going to change now, so it's probably going to remain like this, no matter how much I dislike it. Meditation, this used to be just a passive given by being in the talent tree, so now it's just a passive that you get anyway. So, bunch of mana regen from Spirit. Purification, same thing. This used to be a thing you would just get by being resto. So, your healing spells do more healing, and your water totems do more healing. So, this is kind of the thing that makes resto the healing spec. Like, oh, you have a couple heals you can cast in your other spec, sure, but this is what makes it the dedicated healing spec. It just makes everything better. The coolest part is that little second paragraph that every time you heal somebody, then you're going to increase their maximum HP. Okay? So eventually, this is kind of like a buff to your tank. Eventually, you'll be giving your tank 10% more HP. On a tank, that's nothing to sneeze at. That could be quite a bit. That's several tens of thousands occasionally, so that's very nice. Reincarnation, you can onk. Always been able to do that. Resurgence, we've had this as well. This is a thing where if you critically heal with a heal, then you basically instantly trigger a mana return off your water shield, so that's pretty nice. Last thing here, Spiritual Insight, again, increase mana pool by 400%. Bullshit, it does. We are still capped at 100k for some reason. I don't know why. If they've said why in previous patch notes that I have missed, well, you guys know that and I don't. To my knowledge, though, I still don't know why they have capped us like this. I see no purpose in it, unless for some reason there's like a UI change that isn't supported and it's just not showing. Maybe I really do have more than this and it's just not showing up. I don't know. But anyway, the last main healing thing here is tidal waves. Now, this is kind of one of the things that separates really good resto shamans from just like the okay ones or the bad ones. Bouncing tidal waves back and forth with the spells you want to benefit from it is a skill. Whenever you chain heal or whenever you riptide, you're gonna gain this, and it changes all of your heals slightly. It makes your healing wave and your greater healing wave cast quicker, since those are the ones that take a long time to cast. However, it'll increase the critical chance of your healing surge by 30%, which is the fast one. So you can do Riptide or Chain Heal, either one, and gain this buff where your two kind of more mainstream heals, the low mana cost, not very good one, and the long cast time good one with the high mana cost, both of those will now go faster. That'll kind of put them on comparison with Healing Surge. However, you could instead do Healing Surge and have a bigger chance of getting a crit. And you have to keep in mind all the things that that crit will do. You know, yeah, the crit's going to heal more, but it's also going to trigger things like Resurgence. You know, it's going to be a critical heal. It's going to give you some mana. There's a lot of things that a critical is going to affect that can cascade quite a bit. So it has the potential to mean a lot. Knowing which spell to use during tidal waves is, again, it's what separates the people who know what they're doing from the people that just kind of spam buttons and hope that their tank doesn't die. So I've always liked tidal waves. I always thought it's been really cool. Very, very good spell. Ascendance. Again, we talked about the elemental one in the elemental video. So in the resto one, you become a water ascendant, and all healing done is duplicated and distributed evenly among nearby allies. So again, that's like green buff on Ultraxian. Okay, that's like green buff on Ultraxian. I'm very interested to see how resto ascendants will work with conductivity. I'm very interested to kind of see the AoE potential of that. It seems like there would be a lot of potential there. If you take the resto ascendants with Echo of Elements chance of duplication and the conductivity spread with the healing rain, that's a lot of spread, and that's a chance for free heals that will also spread as well. So all of that is probably going to synergize really, really well. So that is all of the abilities, all of the talents. Closing remarks on this, my thoughts for PvP and PvE, things like that. As usual, I don't want to comment too heavily on PvP, don't want to stick my own foot in my mouth. I don't do it a lot. As I've said before, I really don't PvP. I'll leave the PvP theory crafting and all that to people that actually do it, that actually know something about it. I don't really want to comment and throw out information on something I don't know anything on. One, because I don't want to give you guys false information, and two, because I don't want people to say, oh, you're totally wrong, blah, blah, blah. You know, I've already gained one troll on the channel. I don't need more than that. I already gained a troll in the Legend of Grimrock series. It's like, oh my god, you're such a slut. This game is so boring. You're so terrible. Well, you've commented on like 4 videos now, so evidently you're still looking at them. You know, but it's whatever. So, not looking to gain more of those people. Oh, server restart. What? I got this under the wire just in time then. This is being recorded on a Tuesday, so as you might have seen in here, I know live servers are down right now. I can't do any dungeons right now. The instant server is down. This will be going down shortly too, so I will wrap this up here pretty quick. PvE. I do think that we're still going to be pretty good in PvE for healing. I know sometimes certain classes kind of go in and out of favor. I know it's been a consensus among a lot of people that in the Cataclysm expansion for Dragon Soul, I think Resto Druids had the very, very short end of the stick. They weren't very good. Apparently they either got nerfed hard or they weren't very tailored to the encounters of Dragon Soul. I don't know exactly what it was or how it went, since I don't have a Druid myself that I play at a high level, but I have heard from people that do have druids that druid healing in Kata was not good, or that it wasn't as good as it has been before, things like that. Shaman healing, I think, has always been pretty good. Shamans are able to do a lot of things. In my opinion, the shaman's biggest pro is mana regeneration. I very rarely run out of mana on my shaman. I know once or twice, one time a couple weeks back actually, when we were doing the normal version of Dragon Soul, we were doing the Blackhorn encounter, and we were 2-healing the whole place, so I was healing it alongside a priest, and the priest ended up dying, and so we go into phase 2. Okay, Blackhorn drops down onto the deck. The priest had ended up dying before Blackhorn even landed on the deck at all. So I actually managed to solo heal the entire second half of that fight. I managed to heal by myself the entire portion of Blackhorn lands to Blackhorn dies. Now, sure, a lot of other classes can probably do that, especially if you have good gear, especially if you have a competent raid that moves out of all the shockwaves and all the things like that. But I'm just kind of using that one example to kind of showcase the ability that shamans are very good at putting enough stuff on the tank to keep them alive and tide them over while they switch their attention to a couple other people. Drop a few riptides on them with the glyph. I don't have a cooldown, so just drop a few riptides on people. Throw 1 or 2 chain heals into the group. Go back, drop a healing rain on the tank. And then when I heal the tank, everyone else gets healed a little bit with conductivity. So Resto Shamans are really good at healing a very wide range of people. They're not your typical, like what you would typically think of as an AoE heal. I mean, chain heal is an okay AoE heal, but it diminishes on the bounces so much that it becomes shit after a little while. I mean, in comparison to other classes that are like, well, I'm going to put this down and everyone's just going to stand in it and get loads of heals. We have Healing Rain. That's our answer to that. But there are a lot of other classes that can do AoE healing better. However, we can do AoE healing and direct healing while keeping a very high mana pool. Mana is usually not a concern. So, those are my thoughts for PvE on Resto Shammy in Mists of Pandaria. I believe that we will still be good. I believe that we will still have pretty good mana regeneration, and I believe that that is still going to be really our main kind of strong suit. Our totems are definitely our strong suit, but our most important totem is Monotide. That's a mana regeneration. It applies to the raid. So mana regeneration is really the Resto Shammy's just kind of clinch thing there. At least that's what I think. So anyway, this has been Resto Shammy. Ramblings concluded. I am going to try to level as much as I can. I will probably not be able to get 87 in the next couple days before Diablo comes out, and when it does, I'm sure leveling to 87 is not going to be necessarily the first thing on my mind. But I have heard that there are either already another dungeon out, or there will be another dungeon out. I think the Mogushan Palace or whatever. So I will be hopefully running that either by myself or with Chaos Scythe again, Vellum, like I did in the Temple of the Jade Serpent Ramblings video. And we'll probably kind of do it in roughly the same style. Go through it, come back, commentate through, see what we'd like changed, what we liked, stuff like that. So anyway, this has been Legendary Narwhal, and I'll see you guys next time.